So I was impressed with this laptop immediately out of the box. It has leather, a soundbar at the hinge, black aluminum body, and bright 4K touch display. This is the 14-inch Lenovo Yoga 9i, and this is my review. Let's first talk about the design. The official name of this color is Shadow Black, and I absolutely love the look of it. The combination of glass, metal, and leather makes this laptop feel very premium. The top lid has a black leather with texture that reminds me of a basketball, but in black. Below the display is the soundbar, which I'll talk more about later, but I just want to point out this beautiful black glossy metal design with tiny holes for the speakers. And then we move into the matte black metal keyboard area, which then transitions into this edge-to-edge glass palm rest. Like I said, this is a great looking laptop, but some of these design decisions create a couple of problems, which I'll point out later in this video. I'm also not a fan of the stickers, so definitely taking them off for a cleaner look. The build quality is so good, there's no flex on the keyboard, no wobble on the lid, unless you really shake it. So this laptop has a 14-inch UHD touch display, but there's also an option for Full HD. This display is bright at 500 nits, looks sharp, and overall looks great for everyday use. It's also amazing for movies because the 2-in-1 form factor gives you several options to watch your movies. Inking is also supported, and there's a built-in slot on the back of the Yoga 9i. I'm coming from a MacBook, so I don't do a lot of inking, but I have to say, I'm surprised at the experience. I wrote a lot of my script with the pen on Google Docs, and I'm surprised at how well it recognized my handwriting when changing it to text. Now I wish the pen was thicker so I can use it more often. This integrated pen is very thin and it starts to get uncomfortable after a few paragraphs. It's also hard to pull out of the slot. You'll need longer nails to stick it out. Above the display is a 720p camera. It's not amazing, but should be good enough for video calls. A lot of people will also appreciate the physical cover for the camera if you want to make sure that the camera is actually off. There's no Windows Hello Face Unlock option, and I wish it did because I feel it'd be faster than the fingerprint scanner on this laptop. Below the display is the soundbar, and it's really good. It's the best sounding speakers I've heard on a laptop. It can get very loud without sacrificing quality. You can hear and feel the bass too. What also helps is the Dolby Atmos software that helps tune the sound. You use the Lenovo Vantage app to enhance the audio for movies, music, or keep it in dynamic mode to let the laptop do it for you automatically. The keyboard is also great. They're well spaced out and there's plenty of travel, although not as much travel as the ThinkPad P1 laptop that I reviewed in the last video. It's also quieter to type on than my previous laptops. Here's a comparison with the MacBook Pro, which sounds sharp, where this one sounds more shallow. The top function buttons are also great. I especially like the quick shortcut to the calculator and the settings page. And there are also handy shortcuts that you should know about if you do end up getting this laptop. The keyboard backlight shortcut is Function and Spacebar, and a more advanced is Function and Q, which changes the battery mode from battery saver to balanced and top performance. I keep it on max performance at all times though. Now onto the edge-to-edge glass palm rest. I've never used a laptop with a glass palm rest before, and I have mixed feelings about this. What I like about it is that it looks great and it feels good on your palm, especially when you're typing. What I don't like about it is that it's sometimes hard to find the edge of the trackpad. There's a thin border, but sometimes it's hard to see. I also prefer to tap instead of click on my trackpads. However, if you do press down, you get haptic feedback, and while I think it's nice that Lenovo included that here, the quality of the haptic feedback isn't that great. The vibration feels like it's coming from the middle of the trackpad, even if you're pressing one of the corners. Another issue I have is with the fingerprint scanner. Other laptops with fingerprint scanners have a dip where you can easily find a place for your finger. The reader on this laptop sits even with the glass, so it's not easy to find. Maybe I shouldn't have taken off that sticker next to it. The silver color of this laptop has a more traditional palm rest and fingerprint scanner, so you can choose that color if you don't want to experience these issues on the shadow black version. The left side of the Yoga 9i includes a USB-A port and two USB-C Thunderbolt 4. The right side is just the power button. Since this is a 2-in-1 device, you can use it in laptop mode, tent mode, or tablet mode. The hinge is solid, so it stays securely in place in any of these modes. This laptop runs on the 11th gen Intel Core i7 with 16 gigs of RAM. The specifications of this laptop makes it part of the Intel Evo platform, which after some research, it basically means having a combination of performance, responsiveness, battery life, and great display. When it comes to performance, there's nothing to complain about. Everyday tasks like emails, word processing, web browsing, and even image editing on Photoshop and Lightroom are snappy. Video editing works surprisingly well on this too. Even without a dedicated GPU, scrubbing on the timeline was smooth while editing a 1080p video. Rendering and exporting is fine as well. For gaming, don't expect too much. I tried to run Call of Duty Warzone, but it was just too choppy to play. It's not surprising though, since this doesn't have a dedicated GPU. Lighter games like Fall Guys works fine and it looks great. If you want to look at numbers, here are some benchmarks for reference. So out of the box, I did notice a couple of annoying pre-installed apps. McAfee Antivirus was pre-installed, Alexa was pre-installed. The good news is that they were easy to remove. A pre-installed app that's important though is Lenovo Vantage. This is where you can get notified on Lenovo firmware, software updates. It's also where you can change settings for audio and power. For example, you can choose to maximize performance or choose intelligent cooling to balance fan speed and system performance. Speaking of fans, I can hear them spinning if I put my ears within an inch away from the back of the laptop during light activities like writing a paper or answering emails. They get a little louder to about a foot away from the laptop when it's going through some software updates and while editing videos on Premiere Pro. Battery life was about 6 to 7 hours with light tasks such as word processing, browsing, emails, and watching YouTube videos. I was expecting higher numbers, but I don't do a lot of traveling right now, so I'm usually near a power outlet anyway. So the 14-inch Lenovo Yoga 9i starts at $1299, but there are usually sales on Lenovo's site where you can even see this go for as low as $999. It gets more expensive when you upgrade some of the specs. So for example, this unit with 11th gen Intel Core i7 processor, 16 gigs of RAM, 512 gigs SSD, and UHD touch display costs $1,800. Overall, I think this is a great 2-in-1 laptop. It's very attractive with the leather lid and black metal body. It has the best sounding speakers I've heard on a laptop, and it's powerful enough to do some video editing and light gaming. I only wish there was a Windows Hello Face Unlock option because the fingerprint scanner on this black model hasn't been reliable. So that's my review. Hope it was helpful to you. Let me know if you have any questions and I'll answer in the comments section below. Oh, and one more thing. You might have noticed the extra display in some of the shots in this review. That's the Lenovo ThinkVision M14T. I'll be reviewing that soon and also giving it away. So make sure to subscribe to the channel so you get notified when that video goes live. That's all for now. Thanks for watching.